Morning, all my dear students. I, Neelam Agrari from Jagran Public School, welcome you to class 9, Geography chapter, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. So let's begin with it. First of all, I would like to ask you one question. When you move out of your home, do you see there are same type of plants and trees in every part of your area? No, there are different parts. So we can say that we have different vegetation as well as different wildlife in our surrounding. So I begin with this chapter by showing you number of species of plants and animals. Yes, now here we can see there are number of species of plants and animals. 47,000 plant species are there in our country. India lies 10th in the world in plant species and 4th in Asia. Isn't it proud for us? Next is 15,000 flowering plants. Out of this, 6% of the world flowering plant is observed in India. 89,000 animal species, 1,200 bird species and 2,500 fish species are observed in our country. Out of this, 5% and 6% of amphibians and reptiles and mammals are there. So first of all, we will understand what is natural vegetation. Natural vegetation refers to a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and has been left undisturbed by human for a long time. This is also termed as virgin vegetation. Yes. Yes. Now virgin vegetation. Yes, it is a plant community which has grown naturally without human aid and it is non-disturbed by human being. That is called virgin vegetation. Next is the flora and fauna. Very important. The flowering plants or the plants are denoted as the word flora and the animal are denoted as the word fauna. Now, we all know very well to grow the plants or for growing vegetation, there are some important factors which are very necessary. So, out of this, the first one is the land. Very important. Land are the very important factor. Can you grow your plants in flowing area or you can grow the plants in air? No, it is not possible. So that's why land affect the natural vegetation directly or indirectly. So the same type of vegetation we observe in mountainous, plateau and plain. Do we? No, we do not. Actually, there is a differences between the plants which are grown. In dry area, you will see there is a less number of vegetation. In wet area, you have a good amount of vegetation. In fertile land where there is a total plain land or flood land, you will see the vegetation is very rich. And in undulating and in rough area, you will see there are small grassland, bushes and shrubs. So land is a very important factor. Now we will move towards our next factor. Soil. Again the soil. Land. We all know land. But on land, what do we observe? Soil. Soil is also one of the important factors. The soil also varies over the space. If we move from one place to another, like for an example, you are moving from one state to another, do you observe the same type of soil? No. Somewhere it is red, somewhere it is black, somewhere it is little bit sandy. So there is differences of in soil we observe in our surrounding, and according to that only we have the vegetation. Like the sandy soil of this desert supports the cactus and the thorny bushes, while the wet, marshy or deltic soil supports the mangrove type of vegetation or the deltic vegetation you can say. And in hilly areas we observe there that there is a conical type of trees. So definitely because of this soil we observe different type of vegetation. Now we will move towards the climate, very important component. In climate, temperature, very important. Just tell me, can you grow plants in a dark room without sunlight? You just only water the plants? No, it's not possible. The two main important thing is that water and the sunlight. We all know as the photosynthesis. Okay. So here the temperature is very important character. This character extent the vegetation are mainly determined by the temperature along with the humidity in the air. Yes, there should be humidity also in the air. That means moisture should be there in the air. It's not like in only the temperature should be there. Like in desert area, what do you observe? In desert area, we observe that there is a high temperature, but there is no humidity in the air. So there should be humidity, that means moisture, which supports the vegetation. Next is the photosynthesis or the sunlight. Yes, sunlight varies from place to place. It depends on the latitude and the altitude and the season and the duration of the day. Yes, if it is summer season, you will see that the plants will grow very fast. But when it is a winter season, you will see you will observe that it takes time to grow, because during the summer season the sunlight is very in a high range, and it has a high temperature in it, and in winters you will observe the sunlight is little bit dim. So that's why we observe that during the winters there is a less number of vegetation grown, and trees grow faster, as we all know, because of the longer photosynthesis or the sunlight. Most important, the precipitation. Without water we cannot observe the vegetation. Yes, as we know, in desert area there is a high temperature, but there is a no rainfall. So can you observe rainfall in this type of area? No. If the area gets heavy rainfall, it is suitable for the growth of dense vegetation. But if the area has a scanty rainfall, it shows the less number of vegetation or only thorny bushes. Ecosystem. What is ecosystem? All the plants and animals in an area are interdependent on each other. The plants and animals are very important part of the nature, because they all are interdependent. Animals are dependent on plants for their survival, because there are so many herbivorous plants who fulfill their stomach with the vegetation, and even the plants are dependent on the animals, because the animals sometimes what they do, they eat the vegetables or the fruit and they throw out the seeds, which helps to germinate a new plant. Now what is biome? Along with the physical environment make the ecosystem. A very large ecosystem is called biome. Biomes are identified on the basis of the plant. You can look into this graph and you can observe the forest area is developing day by day, and the area which covers the large amount of forest. Next is the type of vegetation. Yes, we all know that there are different types of vegetation, and out of this the five main major types of vegetation are there. They are as follows: tropical rainforest, which you can call evergreen forest also, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest, mountain forest, and mangrove forest. Now let's see in detail. The first one is the tropical rainforest or the tropical evergreen forest. These forests are restricted to heavy rainfall areas of Western Ghats and the islands of group of Lakshadweep, Andaman, Nicobar, upper parts of Assam and Tamil Nadu. They are the best in the area, having more than 200 centimeter of rainfall with a short dry season. Yes, the most important is this evergreen forest has very less dry season. They have, most of the time they have the wet seasons. The trees reach great height up to 60 meters or even about that also. Different types of vegetation are observed in this area, like trees, shrubs, creepers, giving a multi-layered structure. You can see in this vegetation, basically you can see the small plants, middle heighted plants, and the tall trees as well. So in this type of forest, basically variety of vegetation are observed. And one most important thing is that in this forest the plants never ever shed their leaves. That's why it is called evergreen forest. They never shed their leaves. They are evergreen throughout the year. This is the most important feature of it. By looking at this image, you can understand how the tropical evergreen forests are so dense. You can see so many tall trees are there, creepers, small plants are also observed in this area. Next is the tropical deciduous forest. There are most widespread forest of India. Yes, this is the vegetation we observe basically in our surrounding, that is tropical deciduous type of forest. They are called the monsoon forest and spread over the region receiving rainfall from 200 centimeter to 70 centimeter. Yes, the rainfall is less compared to the evergreen forest. Trees of this forest, they shed their leaf about 6 to 8 weeks in dry season or dry summer. Yes, very important feature of this deciduous forest is that in this area the trees shed their leaves, but in evergreen it do not shed their leaves because during the dry summer season the trees or the plants get dried up and the leaves are shaded from the trees. On the basis of availability of water, these forests are further divided into two parts. First is the moist deciduous and another one is the dry deciduous. The former is found in the area receiving rainfall between 200 to 100 centimeter, which you observe in the moist deciduous, and this forest exists therefore mostly in the eastern part of the country. Another one is, and the vegetation which is observed in this area are like teak is the most important tree which is observed in this deciduous type of or moist deciduous type of forest. Bamboo, sal, sesame, sandalwood, care, kusum, arjun, mulberry are the trees which are observed in the moist deciduous forest. Another one is the dry deciduous forest. This forest has basically rainfall from 100 centimeter to 70 centimeter. These forests are found in the rainier part of the peninsular plateau and the plains of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The special trees which are observed in this dry deciduous forest are sal, peepal, neem are mostly grown in this area. Now you can see the structure of or the image of moist deciduous forest, how you can see the plants are developed in this area. They are little bit attached to each other. Next is the dry deciduous forest. You can see this dry deciduous forest which you can see the trees are scattered. They are not attached to any. You can see the trees get dried after some time. That's why it is called dry deciduous forest. Now next and the most important is the tropical thorn forest and shrubs which is observed in the dry regions. Yes, in this region with less than 70 centimeter of rainfall, the natural vegetation consists of thorny trees and the bushes. This type of vegetation are basically found in Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. Trees are scattered and have long roots penetrating deep into the soil in order to get moisture. Yes, very important is this. Here the roots get penetrated, means the root of these trees observed in this forest are deep under the ground because they try to attract or absorb the water from the ground. The stems are stunted and to conserve water. Leaves are mostly thick and small to minimize evaporation. This forest gives the way to thorn forest and shrubs in the arid region. So this is the another vegetation. Next is the mountain forest. This is the another vegetation where you have different type of vegetation in single region only. This is basically observed with the word you can understand. This is basically observed in the mountainous area. The decrease in the temperature with increase in the altitude led to the corresponding changing in the natural vegetation. Like the wet temperate type of forest are found between the height of 1000 to 2000 meter, and the evergreen broad leaves such as oak, chestnut are observed in this area. Then go beyond little bit up, you will see the height from 1500 to 300 meter. You will see the vegetation observed here is like temperate type of vegetation, like trees like pine, deodar, silver are observed in this area. This forest covered mostly in the southern slope of the Himalayas, place having high altitude and in the southern and the northeast India. Next is the at high altitude, that is at the top you will see the height is near about 3600 meter above. When you go from the sea level, you will see the temperate forest and the grassland, the combination of temperate forest and the grassland both. You will again observe here the alpine type of vegetation. Juniper, pines, beeches are commonly observed in this area. Next is mangrove forest. Yes, this is also called a deltic forest. Basically, the mangrove forest is also known as tidal forest also, are found in the area of the coast influenced by the tides. Yes, Basically, this is observed in the area where more than 2 or 3 rivers get and merged. They form a delta over in this area. Mud and silt get accumulated on such coast. Dense mangrove are the common variety with roots of the plant submerged under the water. The deltas of the Ganga, Mahanadi, the Krishna, the Godavari and Kaveri covered by such vegetation. Here, the most important is the Ganga and Brahmaputra delta, which form a Sundari trees. Yes, here we also call it Sundarban because the two, this main important river, they merge in this area and they form a delta. And the good vegetation is observed here, that is called Sundariban. And the most important is the Royal Bengal tiger, which is the national animal, is also observed in this area. Yes, now by looking into this image, you can understand the different type of vegetation observed in different area like moist tropical evergreen forest, tropical forest, temperate forest, mountain, alpine, desert vegetation. You all can see the image and you can understand which type of vegetation are observed in this in our country. Now we will move towards the wildlife. Very important because without wildlife, our ecosystem can be disturbed. Yes, the importance of wildlife to maintain ecological balance of nature and maintain food and chain and natural cycle. It is very important to have wildlife because it has economical value as well. Because we all know very well that the wildlife also help in the economical development. Like for example, the rich amount of vegetation, which is rich amount of outputs or the produce of the animals are used in our country, and it also gives the occupation to so many people. So that's why wildlife is very important for sustainable of many human beings. Many wild plants provide useful substances like timber, paper, gums, etc., and they all have wide application in Ayurveda and another branches of the medicine. Wildlife animal produce trunk, ivory, leather, honey. This all give the occupation to the human being. Wildlife is the source of livelihood and subsistence. Due to existence of wildlife on the earth, human get benefit to sustain its life. Basically, the tribal peoples, they are all dependent on the, mostly of the tribal family are dependent on the wildlife. Wildlife plays an essential role in the ecological balance and the process that are yet again significant to life. The normal function of the biosphere depend on the endless interaction among animal, plant and microorganism. Wildlife information. Now let's see some important numbers over here about the wildlife. There are more than 90,000 animal species in India. There are more than 2,000 species of birds in India. There are 2,000, nearly 5 and 8% of the world amphibious, reptile and mammals, as I explained in the beginning, and elephant are found in the hotbed forest of Assam, Karnataka, Kerala. One hand rhino are the most important animal which are observed in the swampy and marshy land of Assam and West Bengal. Now yes, the another aspect is that there is a very important requirement to protect this wildlife, protect the flora and fauna. So here some steps are being taken by the government of our country to protect this. So let's see some steps which are taken by the government to protect this flora and fauna. First is 14 biosphere reserves have been set up in India to protect flora and fauna. 4 out of this mainly Sundarban, Nanda Devi, Gulf of Mannar and Nilgiri have been included in the World Network of Bioreserve. Yes, it is a very important number and we all should know this. Financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. Yes, there are some important species of plants which should be protected. It is now at the extinct level. So that's why financial supports are given to the botanical gardens so that they can be protected. Project Tiger, the very important project, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Busters and many other eco-development projects have been introduced by our government. 89 national parks, 49 life wild sanctuaries and geological gardens are set up to take care of the natural heritage. Now, with the help of this map, you can understand the wildlife which is present in our country, different part of the country, and the national park. Different national park are also being planned by government. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.